Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of X4 the Beginner's Guide, and today we are going to discuss the version 3.3 of X4. Now, those of you who are following one of the two campaigns other than the war campaign, you'll not recognize this. This is the current war campaign that we have. We're on our carrier craft that, if you haven't already seen episode 3, that should come out just shortly after this video. We'll show it off. But less of that, more about the update of 3.3. Now, there are a couple of things they've improved on, but there is one feature that I am so glad they've put in, which is the new feature of improved personnel management and crew transfer system. So if we head on to our map now, you'll see we've got our large ship here with our 5 ships on board. If we just take one of these Quasar Vanguards here, which is docked, you'll notice that there are a couple of things that we get to change. The first one, which isn't a part of the personnel management and crew transfer system, but is still very, very useful, is to put into internal storage. That's a new option now. So a lot of the 2.2 stuff some people may have missed, which was to do with trading and allowing your trades to be restricted to your faction only, so streamlining the whole trading system, which was brilliant. They've done a similar thing when it comes to fleet management, and they're slowly doing that with the crew transfer by the looks of it, and they've done that here with placing internal storage. But if we go to our information here and we go to our crew, you'll notice that there are not many changes. There are a certain thing here where you can sort your crew list. You can do current role, whatever it is. You've got your service crew here. Unassigned crew, 00. So it's all we got. So it's just a captain. So there's nobody on this at the moment. You'll notice it's on the command, which is the dock at high tower command carrier. We've got our ship overview, which is all standard. No changes there whatsoever. But what we do have, if we go ahead and we grab our Quasar here and we undock him. So if we fly to here,
I'll wait for you to tell me to take off.
Yep, please take off. Are we receive with current orders? You can see him in the background there just taking off, so he's heading off now. Excellent, he's off. Now, okay, so we want to transfer crew between our Quasar Vanguard and our carrier, just as a prime example. So the first thing we need to do is we need to select our Quasar Vanguard, which it is, it's highlighted with a blue box. Then we want to go ahead and right click the command carrier, because that's who we want to trade with, just like you would when you're doing a trade. You then get transfer crew with, you get the other stuff that you got, and I'll talk about these as well, because they've just done slight name changes. Well, I'll do it now while we're on it. They've done slight name changes, so they've done defend commander, attack with commander, intercept for commander. There's just slight word change in there just to make it a little easier. And then you've got, for each one of them, you've got your squadrons that you can set to. So if you set one to alpha, that'll be defend commander, alpha. Attack with commander will then either be beta down to kappa. However, we want to talk about the transfer with crew. And you now get this little box here. And it'll tell you from which ship to which ship. All down this left side here is obviously the Quasar Vanguard. The right side is the high tower command carrier. So if I want to transfer crew, I can then drag across however number of crew. But obviously I can't carry 141 personnel. It's bright red and it says there's not enough space available on the Quasar Vanguard. So we can't do it. We can also replace the commander if we wish. If I go ahead and place, say, 1 personnel, if I can get it. Just see if I can. 1. So as you can see, because I've selected to replace commander, it will pick the best commander it can, as far as I'm aware, to replace that commander. However, it's only a 1-star, it's got a better commander anyway, so we just drop that off and they will become an apprentice crewman. Now, if we had able or specialist crewman, then we would obviously do the same for them too. And obviously, if I chose an abled or a special crewman, then the likelihood is when I click on the replace commander, it will more than likely have a better commander for us, but it doesn't. So I can also choose to select that if I'm transferring that direction. It doesn't matter which side you're transferring from or to, just as long as you know which side you want them to go to and which side you want them to come from. You can show your full list of crew if you wish to do so there. I'll just bring up everybody from each of the ships. But since there are 140 of each Marine and apprentices, I am not going to go down that entire list. Just know that that's how you do it. You then confirm. Now what it does is it will launch a capsule of personnel. So no matter how many personnel you put in, it'll launch a crew capsule from one ship to another ship. That's the story behind it. I haven't seen a physical capsule. I could have just missed it, but as far as I'm concerned, it just happens. And now if we look at our Quasar Vanguard here, wherever it is, we'll now see that we have our apprentice crewman. You saw before that was on 0, it's now on 1, and we can obviously display the roles and whatnot as usual. So that's how you transfer crew. I'm just going to keep this very simple. I'm just going to go quickly over some of the things they've changed that are going to be useful for anybody who is playing. I'm not going to go through the stuff that they fixed, but they have fixed a ton of stuff. A lot of things to do with the AI as well. Things like attacking and stuff like that. But the great thing they have done is they've now included things to do with your stations. So there was some of the stations weren't like the attacking of a station wasn't going into the log, so you'd miss being attacked and stuff like that and losing stations. So you might just be basically doing something, you go back and be like, where's my station gone? And it's not in the log and you won't know. So that's been added as well. You've got new upkeep missions that have come in as well. You can also hold your fleet in an area, so instead of them trying to flee, you can hold position, so the fleet won't leave the system. That's really useful if you've got a fleet that would generally flee, but they've actually got superior firepower, or if you want them to defend a base of operations or a station or something like that, because obviously if they flee and leave the station unguarded, the likelihood is the station is going to get taken out. So just bear that in mind. The other things as well, it's just very basic things like ability to enter the spacesuit from an actual docked capital ship, which as far as I'm aware hadn't happened in the past, whereas now you can. You can apparently add a ship code to ship entry in shopping list section of ship configurations. I don't know what useful that would be, but whether it is, if you have somebody playing with you, I don't know. Yeah, so I think they're the major things. There's only other little things like you can fire unassigned crew members from the crew info menu, so just this here. You can fire people now. Instead of having to communicate with them and trying to do that, you can promote them to a pilot. It's a lot smoother. You can also it's a lot easier as well now to send a crewman over to an unmanned ship to make them a captain, which is very useful. Before I forget, let's just go ahead and dock. We'll leave him with his extra crewman on board. It's not really going to make much of a difference. Again, little things like allowing filters on the maps. So these filters here, you can now set it so you can have it a little bit easier, where you can find enemy. Turn it on. You get the think filters, any alerts and stuff like that. Show the faction colors. There we go. You got your mining faction and you've got your other filters. Sorry, Rex. So you can actually find things a little easier. You've also got your trade filters on or off if you want them. There's a few other bits and bobs. Let's go ahead and turn them off for now. Going them all over the place. It's just a little bit easier. You can find civilian ships as well, which is useful. Just makes it a little bit easier to be able to find things. That's good. So hopefully that's kind of clarified the main. As I said, there's loads of things. I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to have a check about what's happening. But they're the things that I concentrate on mainly. That there are things like key bindings and stuff like that I've altered. But to go through everything, there's absolutely no point. I'm just going to talk to you while you're staring at a screen. But hopefully you're enjoying the series as a whole. If you haven't caught the War series so far, make sure you do check it out. As you can see, this ship is huge. It's going to be in there. It's going to be great. You can see how much it costs, what was put into it, everything. And And yeah, check out the other guides as well. If you are new to X4, then make sure you do check it out. Otherwise, join us on the Discord to ask any personal questions you might have about the game, anything like that, you know, or if you just want to leave comments about something, if you haven't understood something, if you want me to cover 3.2, because I didn't really concentrate on the changes that brought around 3.2. I kind of covered them within the guide because it happened whilst the guide was still continuing. But please let me know, and I will cover that a little bit more if you need me to. I will be looking at doing the next public beta when it comes around, so that I can bring you this information a little bit earlier, so you know what's going to come through. The only reason why I tend not to is because I like to have it where it's implemented and then you're getting the game rather than being on that public beta and already experiencing it as well, or having something seen that may not ever make the final public build. So let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comment section as usual. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.